Current estimates show Americans would see their out-of-pocket premiums increase by some 114% if Republicans refuse to act. More than 10,000 residents in our own capital region that I represent would see their health care costs go through the roof.
Congressman DeSaulnier. Next up is Congressman Paul Tonko from New York.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Across the capital region of New York, which I proudly represent, people are receiving notices that their health care premiums are about to significantly increase. Republicans are okay sitting back, doing nothing, and letting these people paying hundreds or even thousands of more for their health insurance. That's simply unacceptable. And how did we get here? As many know, Republicans currently control the presidency, the Senate, and the House. It's their job to keep the government running. They have failed at that job, and now the American people are paying the price. Instead of putting forward a budget that reins in Donald Trump's lawlessness and addresses the healthcare affordability crisis, Republicans have put forward a dirty partisan spending plan that does nothing to address rising costs for average Americans. If this Republican plan passes, hundreds of thousands of people will lose their health care, and millions more will see their costs skyrocket. Current estimates show Americans would see their out-of-pocket premiums increase by some 114% if Republicans refuse to act. More than 10,000 residents in our own capital region that I represent would see their health care costs go through the roof. A family of four earning $64,000 a year, for example, would see their annual premiums rise by more than $2,500, or a 426% increase. On behalf of my constituents in New York's 20th District, I pledge that I am with you and am here to fight for affordable health care. I've heard from countless constituents who are concerned about their well-being and the health of their loved ones. Suzanne, that I represent from Guilderland, New York, wrote to me and said, and I quote, "Please do not allow healthcare costs to rise. This would be a hardship for my children who are already struggling with high costs. It would also affect my grandchildren and myself." Well, Suzanne, I hear you. And with your family and others like yours in mind, I'm standing strong against these Republican price hikes. I stand strong with our guests like Jonna, Jackie, Heather, and Dr. Tom. During my time in Congress, Republicans have voted over 60 times to repeal Affordable Care Act and try to take away affordable health care from our families and friends. Well, I'll note that in all that time, I haven't heard one mention about providing for a replacement. Repeal with no replacement. That's cold-hearted. Republicans claim they don't know how we'll afford extending the ACA tax credits, but they had no problem permanently extending tax cuts for the wealthiest individuals, billionaires, and companies. And just today, Secretary Bessent said they found $40 billion for Argentina. That's $40 billion with a B for a political crony. But somehow they can't find any money for health care, a basic right for Americans. Something's wrong with the situation here, and I join you in the fight, and thank you, and I yield back.
In a passionate floor speech, Congressman Paul Tonko of New York took direct aim at the Republican-led government, accusing them of failing the American people on one of the most important issues of our time, healthcare affordability. Tonko revealed that across the capital region of New York, families are receiving alarming notices that their healthcare premiums are about to surge, in some cases by hundreds or even thousands of dollars per year. He called the situation simply unacceptable, blaming Republican leadership in the White House, Senate, and House of Representatives for standing by while Americans struggle. According to Tonko, the GOP's partisan spending plan ignores the growing healthcare crisis. Instead of working to bring down costs or strengthen the Affordable Care Act, Republicans have proposed a dirty budget that puts politics over people. He warned that if the plan passes, hundreds of thousands will lose healthcare coverage, while millions more will face crushing premium increases. In his district alone, a family of four earning $64,000 annually could see their healthcare costs rise by $2,500, a shocking 426% increase. Tonko shared a heartfelt letter from Suzanne of Guilderland, New York, who pleaded with Congress not to allow costs to rise any further. "This would be a hardship for my children and grandchildren," she wrote. Words that the congressman said reflect the struggles of families across America. The Democratic lawmaker didn't hold back in his criticism. He accused Republicans of voting over 60 times to repeal the Affordable Care Act without ever proposing a replacement, calling such actions cold-hearted. He also blasted the GOP for claiming there's no money to extend ACA tax credits while extending permanent tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations, and even finding $40 billion for foreign political allies. "Something is wrong with this picture," Tonko said. "If we can find billions for political cronies abroad, we can find money to keep healthcare affordable for hardworking Americans." The congressman ended his speech with a firm promise. He will keep fighting to protect healthcare access for families in New York and across the nation.